Thank you very much for all, and thank you very much, John Downing. He gave me wonderful support at GMRC. I'd like to thank you. And all the faculty members who were so nice to me. Thank you. And then the students, I didn't know you're so interested in Korean film. And then I just now find that there's no Korean in the title. But this afternoon, I'm going to talk about Korean film under the title of Dominance of Hollywood in the world film market and resistance of regional community. Korean films are booming these days. Some of you might know. But some people also start to worry about the future of the Korean film. The biggest challenge that Korean film now facing is screen quota policy. That's from political side. And also they try, Korean film people try to maintain economic success of Korean film so far. On the booming name of Korean wave, Hanryu, some of you might know already. And also culturally, national identity of Korean films is a very big issue these days, particularly when international co-production is the main interest among Korean film people in Korea these days. So today I'll talk about Korean film in a kind of very broad perspectives, including these cultural, economic, and political aspect altogether. But of course, my main point, my main kind of topic would be political economy of Korean film with regard to current changes in production system and in relation to Hollywood. First of all, the screen quota is the main issues in politically in these days, because Korea is getting into the political battle against Hollywood because the U.S. and particularly Hollywood demand to open market through free trade agreement. The meeting is still going on. And it has been years since the U.S. government, following the demand of course, MPAA, Motion Picture Association, has asked to cut off any product protection mechanism, including screen quota. So that's a very big dispute with regard to screen quota between like three actors, like Korean government and U.S. government and Korean film industry people. Screen quota, maybe you may already know, but screen quota is a regulation policy. Every screen in Korea has to show Korean film only for 146 days a year. And they give a kind of extra point in high season. So like minimum, the mandatory days is 106. That means 1/3 of days you have to show Korean films in every screen in Korea. And since Korean film is so successful these days, it has been a while that U.S. government, of course, like pushed by MPAA, try to cut down this number very hard. And last year, it cut down like in half. So it become now 73 days instead of 146 days in the process of FTA meeting. So now it become a half. Oops. So there's like a big debate or like battle between Korean film people and the government, of course, relate to U.S. government. The perspective of Korean government is that the side, like Korean film is already competitive internationally because it takes over 50% of Korean market occupy the domestic market. So it's already stable and you don't need to worry about it. I mean, Korean government says you don't need the protection policy any longer. And of course, because of US pressure, it was kind of a term of a condition to begin with FTA, free trade agreement meeting. US says, if you want to get into the FTA, you have to cut down your screen quota. That was kind of some of the conditions. And also, Korean government says that the film industry is kind of a strategic product for other, giving up, kind of strategically giving up film industry and protect other more sensitive products like rice and meat and agricultural products. And also Korean government says in return we are going to give more stronger financial support for film industry. And then they say something like they'll give out $500 million for 5 years just to support the Korean film industry. Whereas film industry people says, we don't need financial.
Sorry, is that $500,000 a year or $500,000 over 5 years?
For 5 years. For 5 years altogether. Film industry people says, we don't need financial support, we need screen quota. And then they say the reason why Korean film is so booming these days, successful these days, is because of screen quota. So they claim that no screen quota, then we don't have any Korean films in the future. And also says that 50% of dominance in domestic market is a big one. But people says that's unstable market. Right? So some years it can go down like 20% quickly, and then booming up like 60%. So it's very, film market is unstable. So you cannot say Korean film is already competitive. You cannot say. You have to wait and see and how long it goes. And also they say cultural identity is also the important things. Film is not only economic product, so you have to protect your own culture. So you have to protect your our own film. And also, even though we made a good Korean film throughout the future, but distribution power is more strong. So even if you have a good film, if others take the distribution power, then you cannot distribute Korean films and nobody can see the Korean film. That's what the argument. So Korean film people strongly resist against the government policy, also Hollywood and US government. Like in the first year, it started in like late 90. So 1999, there was a ritual, like in the center of Seoul, like heart of Seoul, like over 100 people, all directors and then producers, famous people and actors coming together and then had a street demonstration. And directors and producers, like over 100 people, they shaved their hairs completely. And so that was the 2 months later that Jack Valenti, at that time the president of MPAA, and then and the Minister of Commerce of US come visit Korea and had a meeting with President of Kim Dae-jung at that time. And then they kind of try to kind of diminish the screen quota, but they like a fierce this demonstration kind of discouraged them to do so. And they continue, these film people continue to have a street demonstration and cultural event to protect screen quota. And still now, they continue one-person demonstration. This is one-person demonstration. Like every day, one person have this pickets and continue the demonstration in front of Parliament and the Blue House. Blue House is a White House in Korea. Every day over a year now. But the screen quota has been cut anyway in half in 2006, the January 2006, and it executed from July 2006 last year. Anyway, and then the Korean people is very furious because they are very politically viable, and they call themselves their kingmaker. They're very involved in political process. I showed these two guys. Is a famous film, the actor, and then these two guys are actor. They direct, we call it Nosamo. Nosamo is Association for Loving Nomuhyun. Nomuhyun is now the president of Republic of Korea. They have a very leading role that Nosamo got elected a few years ago. And they anticipate, of course, like strong support from this administration, but they got betrayed by them. They feel that they got betrayed by them because of the free trade agreement process. So they are very furious. But these days, public opinions go kind of dubious directions compared to the late 90s. Late 90s, people kind of patriotic, I mean, from my point of kind of patriotic motivation to protect Korean film. But these days, some people they do, but some people they think, oh, screen quota is just for people in film industry. And then they try to protect their own, their kind of group interest. So these days, like this political activism goes like very different ways among film people. They still goes on the political activities like appeal to parliament, and have a meeting with bureaucrats, ministers of culture and stuff, and then they still develop like frequent street demonstration, but also they try to make kind of coalition with other groups, domestically and then internationally. So these days, Korean film people play a main role in setting up Korean alliance against the Korea-US FTA. They call it no FTA, no FTA. And arranging frequent street demonstration and activities. No FTA include a major labor union and teachers union, health workers unions, as well as audiovisual media organization. And this is one street demonstration by no FTA. This is Korea-US FTA. No. And this guy is Bong Joon-ho, director Bong Joon-ho. He made a speech in front of this no FTA group meeting, kind of inauguration speech he was reading. He is the person who make the famous host, the Korean film host. It's a, you don't know host. I'll show you in a bit, just a little bit. Host is like the most, it has most audience in Korea. And also now it's releasing in the States like 70 screens compared the whole market is little, but for Korean film, it is the first time to widely release in American market, and I heard it's going very well now. And Bong Joon-ho, he made the host and the Memories of Mother, which is big Korean blockbuster film, which attract the most audience in Korean film history. And also a member of the left-wing political party in Korea, Democratic Labour Party, ironically. He made a speech in front of No FTA in November 2006. Like this, Korean film people, they try to make a coalition with other groups and try to protect their own interests, but also with others. And on the other hand, these people in the Korean film industry are getting involved in international coalition for protecting screen quotas. The French Coalition for Cultural Diversity, FCCD, was most supportive. They made a lot of the activities with the Korean film people, and also Korean film. Some of the delegates from Korean film industry goes to French Parliament and made a speech on how we success to protect the screen quota until that time. And also Korean filmmakers participate in consenting the UNESCO's Convention on the Protection and Promotion of the Diversity of Cultural Expression in October 2005. And still they're working hard to Korean Parliament to legalize this act officially. And they argue U.S. pressure on cutting off screen quota is a violation against the International Lawful Convention by UNESCO. They also filed an appeal to U.S. Parliament against FTA between U.S. and Korea in March 2006, collaborating with Canadian Coalition for Cultural Diversity. So they kind of very viable to make those international coalitions. And also, because Korean films have been awarded frequently in prestigious international film festival like Venice, Cannes, Berlin, it is very common to see those street demonstrations in the international film market or the festivals. So I downloaded some of the pictures. The first one is Park Chan-wook, who directed Old Boy. Do you know that? You like that Old Boy? Yeah. He says no screen quota equals no Old Boy in Berlin Film Festival. And this one is another director, Yoo Sung-wan, who used to make a kind of low-budget action movies, very creative though. But these days he make more bigger one. He kind of dual demonstration with the minister in Venice Film Festival. So it's very common to see this kind of the demonstration in very prestigious film festivals. And also Busan Film Festival, we call it PIF, kind of strange name. Play a very important role in organizing kind of international cooperation, not only for protecting domestic film industry, but also for developing kind of a long-run strategy for cultural diversity. Particularly PIF. I mean, some people, they kind of, PIF, do you know about, have you heard of PIF? No, never. PIF I mean, I heard from PIF people, but PIF is one of the prestigious film festival in Asia, and also it's the 10th largest film festival in whole world. And from the beginning, the main concept of PIF is kind of discovering Asian aesthetics in films. Some of people, they criticize PIF these days because it become too big to kind of commercialize, but I think they still keep the main concept it oriented to art film and very Asian oriented. I think is still intact. And PIF not only show the films but also organize very kind of communal activities, especially among Asians. So they set up like Busan promotion plan. That does not make sense by the name, but it is the project. If you are director or producer, if you have a project, you can go to PPP, and if you are selected, they will match with the financiers. So then you are able to make your own films. It's only for Asian though. So PPP, it has been like, it started in 1998, and then over a year it's still going very well. And they also developed an Asian Film Academy. It's a training program, and the famous art film director in Taiwan, Hu Shaoxian. Do you call that Hu Shaoxian? Do you know? No? Hu Shaoxian is very famous, one of the best film director in Asia, art film director in Asia. Hu Shaoxian and Cha Mingyang is the most famous. Was the chair of the AFA, and then last year they opened an Asian film market, and also they have like BIFCOM as a Busan International Film Commission. This is for support for locations. So by this whole diverse, I'll show some pictures if you want to interest. This is PPP. In the center you can see Kim Gi-deok, director Kim Gi-deok. If some of you may know. In the Modi Film Festival, there was 3 Ayun was his film, Kim Gi-deok, and all those Asian film directors. And this is the AFM film market, and then AFA. So now political perspective, I would say it's political activism for Screen Quota in Korea. I accomplished a halfway success because Korean film market were able to bring up cultural diversity issues and resistance against international hegemony, both domestically and internationally. But on the other hand, it failed because it cut down anyway. But in my view, people in film business mobilize one of the strongest and effective activism against international power and political authority by attracting social attention in Korean history. Even though Screen Quota policy has been weakened recently by US pressure, of course, they exercise the power to postpone the policy execution and the range of the alternations days as much as they can. So I think there are both bright and dark side of it. However, I would argue the darker side of Korean film industry lies in structural transformation at the deeper level. Currently, facing challenges from the public era as well as economic difficulty that Korean film people now facing. they try to pursue kind of structural transformation of the industry. Yet, the strategies that most Korean filmmakers and policymakers invent to defend national films are ironically to follow the Hollywood's model with regard to film content as well as production system. So I would adopt a kind of post-structuralist, strange name again, but post-structuralist theories because it's enjoyable, because it's hard to read, and also it can bring up a very diverse dimension of how reality construct and power works these days. So I think in a contemporary world, international power work more diversity and indirectly than blatant political struggle and resistance such as FTA, WTO, and Screen Quota policies. While resisting against Hollywood and the US power, Koreans adopt the Hollywood system in return. So maybe I have to be careful, but maybe we should not romanticize political activism too much these days. If we are affected by the power on a diverse unknown sources, if it is the case that having fight and resistance, however severe it may be, one follows his counterpart anyway, then what is the use of brutal fight and political activism? Foucault also argued that struggles in society, such as class conflict, feminist, environmental movement, produce the same kind of contradictions and another form of power internally. I don't want to go kind of lecturing all those theories, but I think it applies to the contemporary problem with the Korean film industry too. The most serious problem that Korean films are facing is ironically dwindling cultural diversity that they are arguing for. People in Korean film industry accomplish a kind of success of bringing up cultural diversity internationally, but damaging it domestically while restructuring the production system. First, for production system, Koreans invent its own blockbuster in order to compete with Hollywood movies in domestic market. From series, like historically, like Ghost, like something else, but I don't know, I don't remember the name, but it started with that movie, but Shuri was the most successful the Korean blockbuster movie, and then it kind of switched the Korean film history into a different level. And of course, today, 2006, The Host, it draws the most audience, like 13 million people domestically. If you remember, we have only like 45 million, then 13 is like 1/3 of whole people, including the babies and older people, they also the host. So that's a big number. So maybe some of you may get bored. Maybe I'll show briefly the film host. Okay, where? Oops. Here. Okay, and then
video.
Okay. Enter full screen.
And it's just space bar.
Okay. Why it has no sounds? there's a sound. Maybe it meant to be silent. Maybe I'll stop here. Mean. Something. Control. How did it? The host? Why are you guys laughing in the middle? It's very sad. Well, I mean, I'm kind of curious why you guys laughing when it's kidnapped by the monster. I mean, why did you?
The monster's diving style. It's very hilarious.
I mean, you are the only person. You are not the only person who laughed. Kind of curious why.
I think probably it was perceived as being cheesy special effects, maybe.
Oh.
I think it was just because of the just the, I didn't really see where it was going. I thought it's going to do what they can. And then, Godzilla's baby comes and snatches a schoolgirl into the lake and eats her. So that was unexpected. So,
Yeah, I kind of brought me back to that.
the absurdity. It was like Jurassic Park 3 when Tyrannosaurus Rex start running through San Francisco eating people. On one hand,
So you think it's kind of cheesy and cheapy? You guys think? But this is kind of current blockbuster movie.
Cheesy.
Oh.
It just reminded me of another film.
Oh yeah, that's the real point. Okay, that's good. I don't know how to. Yeah, I don't know how to. Getting. Oh, sorry. Getting back to the. Yeah, that's good. And then go like this, right? That's a kind of very interesting reactions.
I don't think it was cheesy, by the way.
No. No. I didn't like this visual effect, but they said that's a sound buzz. I didn't like this one. I mean, I like the story, but I didn't like the special effect and stuff. But they say that's most advanced. So I'm kind of curious. Good. where I am. Okay. So they invented this kind of blockbuster movie, even though you think it's kind of third kind of class movie. Oh, by the way, it says this host, director Bong Joon-ho, worked with the visual effect team who made King Kong and Ring of the Road and Harry Potter. Surprising. As the same special effect teams they work with. So these days for Korean blockbuster movie, they invest a lot of money in this kind of visual effect, like Hollywood movie. And also in a market sense, the finance in the film industry these days come from majorly big conglomerate like CJ and Orion. They used to make snacks, cookies, and then they kind of expand their whole arena of their product, and then they come into the film industry, and this is the two the most biggest power these days, and also venture capital, financial capital in a film business. Because of these changes in production system, the big conglomerate and a financial capital, since they enter into the Korean film industry, they demand kind of rational, they say rational and scientific production process. Then in return, it means kind of Hollywood process. So you have to imitate a Hollywood film production process in order to meet their criteria, the financial people. So Korean filmmakers try to follow the Hollywood production system to meet the requirement of financial capital and the big conglomerate. And they think Hollywood system, even sometimes, I mean, even if they resist against Hollywood movies, they think that's kind of rational and scientific system. Second, also, did I mention all this? Like Korean blockbusters, and then production cost doubling every year. It used to, like Shuri spend like 2 million, but the host we just saw, they spend like 11 million. And another not successful movie, Typhoon, used 15 million. Of course, it's small compared to like 2 billion Hollywood movies, but considering the market size, it's a very big one. And average these days, like last year, average production cost goes up to $4 million. And also, distribution system. We used to have a numerous local theaters. So like in 80s until 80s. So even like Hollywood power majors cannot get into the Korean market because the market is not organized on their sense, or it's very diversified. And in 1988, UIP come to Korean market, and then there was very strong resistance at that time. These local distributors put snakes into theaters. It's a famous episode, but they come anyway. In 1990s, we start to build a multiplex, and CJ Showbox. CJ I already say CJ is the most strongest. The Showbox is owned by Orion. It's another snake company. Showbox and Lotte, it's all three the big conglomerate. They kind of monopolize or duopolize the Korean distribution market. And even UIP, they shut down the last year, and then CJ got the distribute. CJ distribute UIP's film these days, so it's very strong. The company. These three conglomerates, these three companies own over 80% of screens in Korea, which is against the fair trade law, which regulate like 75%. So it was accused by in front of a Congress hearing. And also they distribute like 80-something% of film in Korea. So director Kim Ki-duk, do you guys know Kim Ki-duk? Is the famous art movie director. Kim Ki-duk last year won the most award in prestigious international film, like Who Made a Three Iron in Big Muddy Festival. He got an award Best Director in Venice and Berlin film festivals. He challenges this distribution system. He claimed that he would no longer show his film in Korea because it's so hard. He only had like domestically he only had like 10-20,000 people compared to host has 13 million people, and then had like over 600 screens in Korea. But the Kim Ki-duk has a really hard time to get his film show in Korea. So he was very angry, and he says, "Oh, I won't show my film any longer in Korea." So this is a problem with cultural diversity domestically. Right? Korean people internationally claim for cultural diversity and organize many kind of political activities, involved in political activism, but domestically they become oppressor, I mean, in a sense, against the cultural diversity. And then one statistic shows that 45% of Korean movies, small-scale Korean movie, having only like 6% of audience altogether. In Korea. Oh, of course, in Korea, it has no chance to show outside of Korea, except Kim Ki-duk. Kim Ki-duk always claim, "Oh, I have more audience internationally than domestic." Thirdly, but not the least importantly, one can find the influence of Hollywood on content and style of Korean film. So I'll show some of the clips again. We don't have much time here. Korean blockbuster films. I just go to number 2 and play. Oops, play. Okay, good. So this movie is a Shuri, made in 1998. This is the beginning of Korean film, the blockbuster film. Maybe I'll go fast forward. So this is a espionage story, like North Korean come to South Korea and then get bombed, and then he fall in love with this espionage, and but it was a very interesting movie. I'll go forward, fast forward, no, fast forward. These two are lovers, but they have to shoot each other. And who would die? Guess. Huh?
Yeah, the guy.
The guy would die? No, the woman. Huh?
Well, which one's from North Korea? The North Korean.
North Korea is from yeah, the woman. Oh, that's a new perspective. I thought always woman should die in a film.
That's Hollywood.
Huh? So it's very like Hollywood in my own view. How do you follow? Very serious. But that's fun. And this is another film by Park Chan-wook who made Old Boy. But it's very blockbuster movie. This is first the big film by him, and then after making this film, he goes his own style, like Old Boy and the revenge things. We don't have much time to. Oops. This is also like North Koreans and South Koreans. They become friends and violate the rules, and then. Oops. This is another movie by Bong Joon-ho, mother of Bong Joon-ho, who made a host. This so. Oops. No. Stop.
Facing toward the machine.
Stop.
Pointing toward the machine.
Towards the-
Okay. Okay. So maybe you can get a sense how the Korean blockbusters are made. I'll just keep to your own opinions about Korean films, the blockbuster films. In my view, too many medias I'm using. It's kind of overwhelming. Oops. I was planning to talking about Hallyu a little bit, but I don't think I have time, right? So in my view, in short, I using all those complicated the theories like post-structuralism and Deleuze and all stuff. But in short, in terms of content and genre style, it's also very Hollywood-alike. Yes or no? Did you feel that way? And then if I say briefly, the Hallyu. Hallyu is Korean wave. In Korea we say Hallyu, which means it's very successful in Asian market. It draws many the Asian audience attention. it's very economic. I mean, there's a controversial for economic success, but it's very big things for Hanryu. Like Bae-young-jun is the stars. Whenever he goes somewhere, this is in Japan. He draws like Japanese woman, like there's like 5,000 women come to the airport to greet Bae-young-jun. And there's a lot of accident between them. Like they fall down, got scratch and everything. This is a drama, the Winter Sonata, and then there's another like popular the drama 대장금 among Asians. So there's like a Hanryu, like I think kind of that's the most frequently stated public discourse would be Hanryu in Korea, because Koreans are very proud of it. But some of the criticism also brought up for Hanryu, because that Hanryu is of course Korean content, but if you go in deeper in the genre and styles and all those level, you cannot say. I mean, it is influenced by Western, but Asians does not don't like American dramas too much, but like Hanryu, and then also the popular music. So there should be a kind of complex the reasons or process how it is recepted. We cannot just say because of a Korean. It's the people like the Korean and music or the film or dramas, because of it, this is Korean, they like it. That's too much simple. So there's a kind of criticism among critical cultural studies. And also, Korean popular culture are very westernized. I try to show some things, but no time. And also, there's like anti-Hanryu sentiment among Asian audience these days. So we like to, especially in academic era, we like to develop Hanryu not as like kind of Hanryu's like a Korean product export, but also develop kind of Asian community against the Western influence only. There is many researchers are interested in. Korean film people, many Korean film people kind of cynical about Hanryu because Korean film was not main thing for Hanryu. And also there's a lot of piracy problem in Asia, unlike dramas. Even if they have a big hit in Asia, but they don't get money because of piracy. So Korean film people kind of kind of show the resentment about Hanryu. But Korean, the people in Korean film business are more proud of those art films which are awarded by the film, the prestigious film festival. Like I show some of this. Like CFF is Cannes, Cannes Film Festival, VFF is Venice Film Festival, Oasis got Venice Film Festival, and then Samaria is Berlin Film Festival, and Old Boy, of course, got a Best Director, Juros Award at Cannes Film Festivals, and Three Iron Best Director Award at the Venice Film Festival. And in this year, Cyborg, another film by Park Chan-wook. I have not seen it because I left home too early. Got a Alfred Bauer award at Berlin Film Festival. So Korean film. People kind of the proud of this kind of award, and then they got a sense that people in all over the world, especially in those experts like Korean film, because it's too dynamic and very creative, but also there is a critical perspective, of course. It is much influenced by Western, right? Especially blockbuster films, which draw most audience. So we can go like 4 different levels, maybe storylines, and then some of the theme can be Korean, but visual representation and genre and styles are very Western. We have 5 minutes. Okay, discussions. Okay. I have more clips if you want to see it. Okay, so I'll wrap it up. Actually, my interest, the research interest started with very simple and very innocent kind of curiosity. Says, especially for the future ongoing my research is the focus on international co-production between Korea and Hollywood, because almost all Korean film people are interested in coming to Hollywood and then make a film these days, almost all, like actors and then directors, and then same as Park, right? Because Professor Park also want to go to Hollywood and make a film. But almost everybody. But my innocent kind of very simple curiosity is, I'm not against it, but I kind of studied out how come Hollywood mess up with every culture whenever it encountered co-producing remake, and every time they mess up with the other culture. What kind of process inside is going on? Like famous, like Hong Kong film noir become a kind of third-class gangster movies, and then beautiful like Chinese actresses become monstrous, like femme fatales every time, right? And then Jet Li, he actually says he kind of reluctance of playing role in Hollywood movie like a puppet show, right? So looking into Hollywood production in their everyday business practice may reveal the problem with their cultural bias. So I was successful to get an interview with senior script reader in William Morris and a vice president for Columbia Pictures and stuff. On my view, advice, I will succeed. And then I have like phone interview lining up with like Superman producers and all those stuff, all those people. And also in the future, I pursue this study one step further by developing a comparative kind of study of international co-production between Hollywood and Europeans, especially French, because I'm going to France next semester. So I do a comparative study. So it seems to me in the European co-production, they kind of have a fair view of the culture, unlike Hollywood. So I try to go the comparative studies. Okay, so I'll stop here since John. Yeah, it's been an hour. So I should stop here, and if you have any questions, maybe I can discuss with you.